Hey guys, well, a couple weeks ago I bought a printer for my niece and I put that together, this $200 printer on eBay, and it's working out really good. She likes it. She's been printing stuff, and I decided, since I got a few friends that have bought these and they're putting them together, one was kind of confused about the settings and stuff, so I bought another one. And it came today, and so I'm gonna make like a build series, kind of how this printer all goes together, and yeah, so um, I'll share the link, the eBay link, in the description box and all that, and yeah, if you want to go check it out, I think it's a really good deal. The first printer went together no problems, really no problems, and it printed great. So yeah, so I'm just gonna do a little build video, and hope you like it. Thanks. So here's the frame, and I've got it all slotted together. It just fits in the little slots, and now in the center of these little cutouts, there's a hole, and a screw is going to go in there. See, there's a place for a nut right there, and we'll take a nut and hold it in the little slot, and then we'll run a screw and a washer, with a screw with a washer in this way, and tighten all this up. Now each one has that, so we got two that hold this top cap on. One, two, there's three of them on this side rail. So yeah, just everywhere a piece of wood attaches, you fix it with a screw, nut, and washer. Alright. So I put the screws in. There's a little slot under here for the nut, and then just tighten it up, snug. You don't want to go too crazy, because it'll, see if I can get closer to this. You don't want to get too crazy, because it'll break, it'll suck that screw in and kind of break the wood. So, alright, so I've swapped the motors, swapped the plugs around so they go in the back side. And the motor with the micro switch goes on, let's see, if you're looking at the frame, it goes on the left side. The motor without goes on the right side. So we've got the frame built, all the screws are in it. Now comes, we're gonna do a little modification to the bed part. What I like to do, I'll take this nut off and show you. I take the lock washers and toss them. I don't want them. They just make this wood kind of, they can make it sit crooked, and they're just not needed. So I get rid of those. I don't put them back on. What I'm going to do is take this apart. Let me see if I can show you. Boy, this is hard to film without a tripod or a stand or something. So I'll take this off. Oh, the little wing nut. Bugger. Alright. I'll take this whole thing off here. Alrighty. A lot more naked now. But what we're gonna do, these two, those two pieces get bolted to the frame right here, and then we're gonna take the two nuts that were on the outside here. See, there's, here. We'll use those on the inside. Pull this apart. Now, so what we're going to do is I'm going to take the nuts off the back side, the nuts and washers off this back side also. And get rid of that lock washer. Don't want that at all. Get rid of that. See if I can set it there and let you watch. Okay, I'll move everything over here and I'll show you what's going on. What I'm going to do is unthread this one. I'll put one of the washers on. Put see the little wooden thing that screws to the frame. I'll put that back on. Another washer, and then the nut. And what we're going to do, we're going to run this up quite a ways, and this will be the support. Here, I'll show you, hopefully. I'm going to run this nut up this side. See, it's still at the end. I'll run this nut all the way in, and after I bolt that little piece of wood, I'll have these two nuts and washers, and I'll suck those up tight, because we don't want this to move around like on this wood thing. We don't want it to move around at all, so I'm just going to use those nuts and washers there to tighten it up. I'll bring it back and show you. There you go. So that modification's done. Let me show you what I've done here. Just run the threaded rods slightly longer than this back piece, because the wood will attach there, so it just has to be just slightly longer. And I've attached the nut and the washer, and just sandwich that little thing together. That's how it should be. And then I left it somewhat loose. I didn't over tighten it or nothing, so it's still loose in there, and we can start putting it back together. Start putting the end pieces on, but just leave that loose for now, and we'll adjust it later. Well, there we have it. I still haven't tightened the nuts down all the way. Let me show you. I put nuts and washers on the inside of the front and in the back, and no nuts on the outside yet. There's these nuts that were on the outside, they're right here now. So we'll get this all adjusted and tighten these up, and run this one up so it's snug up against that wood. And then, yeah, we'll rely for now. We won't put nuts on these outsides. We'll rely on the belt tension. There's going to be a lot of tension here because the belt is trying to pull these together. So we're going to rely on that. And our first print, we're going to print the nuts, the plastic nuts that I'm going to use to go on here and tighten these up. So we'll just leave them loose for now, and the belt tension will hold everything together. Well, there's the completed frame built so far. See, still no nuts on the outside. We're using the belt tension to hold everything together. It's pushing everything together. See there? We've removed the lock nuts because we don't need them. I've taken the top caps off. Okay, they're right here. I've taken them off. The nuts stay in place. See that little nut in there? It's kind of sucked into the wood a little, and it'll stay right there. You don't have to worry about that. Unless you want to just build it, build the frame without that top piece until you get this all put together. But put the threaded rods in and start them in the little nut here, and get them about equal distance, you know, through both sides. And then put those threaded rods into the coupler. You don't have to tighten it yet or do anything like that. See, it's all loose. We can just leave it loose for now. And then the smooth rods go in the bearings, and they fit down in a little hole right there. And yeah, so now it's ready to put those top caps back on. We got both sides sitting in that hole. I'll show you this side I can take out. See there, just run it right down to that hole, the second little hole, push it in there. Now if it doesn't go, they're purposely made pretty darn tight. So if they don't go, just take you can use like a rubber mallet or something, and just kind of tap them real gentle. You don't want to break anything because it's not really supported super well, but just kind of tap them in. It'll be okay. And then you got these two little collars in a bag, and they got a little set screw on them, and these are going to go on the threaded rods. They just slide on, and we don't have to worry about tightening them up yet. We're just going to put them on there, and then we're going to put the caps back on. And these are the same. If they don't go on the smooth rod, just take and tap it down, tap it on top real light, get it started, you know, and suck these screws up. And yeah, they're purposely made to be pretty tight. Well, got the top caps back on and screwed down, and what I found is what works really good. As you're tightening the screws, these screws down, just get them a little snug as far as you can, and then take the back of the screwdriver and just tap right on that smooth rod, and it'll pound it right down in there really good. And they went together without too much problem, but like I said, they are meant to be tight. And then the little collars, put those on. They just get slid up as far as you can get them up to the wood, and then you tighten those up, and they just stop the threaded rod from going up and down. Yeah, so you just tighten those up a little bit, and it's all good. And we just about got all the mechanicals built. Alright, well, that's part one of the build series, all the mechanical parts at least. I'm going to start working on the next part of the series. Is going to be the LCD and the ramps board. We're going to mount that to the frame, and the power supply, get that all hooked up, and then do a little wiring. So that'll be the next video.